he's starting to have a tough time navigating. We finally cut it down. It was my white whale. Welcome back to the Yosted, everybody. I am making some significant progress on our Korean natural farming style deep bedding pig pen. Most of the area, at least under the lean-to of the pig pen, has ash already on the ground, char, bonfire char, whatever you want to call it. There's still a little bit left, but we'll be able to get that covered with a few more burns. And I've got plenty of wood lying around, especially bigger logs. But I want some smaller logs and sticks to kind of cover the perimeter of the pig pen, because I am going to be putting up hot wire, and I don't want that hot wire sticking up right next to big logs. So I want there to be kind of a taper from the thicker sections where it's really deep to the edges where it gets more ground level. It'll make sense when you see it, but suffice it to say I need skinnier branches and sticks. And so I'm going to do a two birds, one stone thing today, or attempt to, with this whole area right here. So as you can see, I've already started collecting a lot of twigs and small circumference branches, but I want to get quite a bit more to just flesh out that area. And there's another thing I want to do. I want to clear out all of these woods right here, this brush, this thicket, and maybe this too. I'm not going to touch that yet. Why do I want to do that? Well, because we did it years ago when we had Franken beans, but I do want to start running the pigs down here. And although I do want them to have forest access, this area I want cleared out just for easier access for us. I'm envisioning a bigger pen that we put back here. So all of these woods, this thicket, this brush, this scrub, whatever you want to call it, I want to clear as much of it away as possible. Can I do that without having a forestry mulcher? Yes, I think I can, because I've got the assistance of Captain Crunch up there. So Captain Crunch and I are going to start clearing away as much of this stuff as we can. Not some of the bigger trees. The bigger trees I can knock down with the chainsaw. But all of that stuff, let's see how much Captain Crunch can knock out for us today. So I'm not sure how well this shows up via the camera. Sometimes the camera doesn't do stuff like this justice, but I'm very happy with the progress I was able to make today. The forest went up to right about where that tree is, maybe a little bit further. I always used this little rock, this little ledge right here, as kind of the marker of where my forest started. And as you can see, I opened it up considerably. There's this big pile of brush that I'm either going to burn or I'm going to put in the pig pen. I haven't decided yet. I got a lot of brush to burn, so I'm going to get a lot of ash. But once I move that, I've knocked back my usable land, boy, by a good 20 maybe even 30 yards. Not to mention how much wider it is too. Like there's the future berry patch as well. So, like I said, I'm not sure how much justice this shot does it, but I'm very happy with all the extra room that I'm getting and all the extra room that I'm going to have for piggy activities when we get pigs again. Hey, Lenny. So on a side note, I'm not going to get too close, but I think our dear friend Lenny, I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's going blind. If you can see here, he's starting to get, let me zoom in as far as I can. He's starting to get cataracts in his eyes, white spots in his eyes, on both eyes. I think his left eye is a little bit worse than his right one. But he's starting to have a tough time navigating, which kind of lends credence to the theory that he might be losing his vision, which is a bummer, because Lenny is our mascot. Now, there's been a few times. There was a big storm that rolled through last week. Let's see if we can see his other eye. There's a slight bit of cataract in the other eye. It's not as bad. Last week there was a big storm that rolled through, and somehow he got outside of the fence. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a gust picked him up or if he just tumbled over the fence in a pretty bad gust. But I found him on the other side of the barn, and he was lost. He was just standing there. And so I had to kind of navigate him back with sticks. I kind of just, almost like you would a pig, just kind of drive him back. And he was having a really tough time seeing. Eventually I got him back here in this barnyard. But he was having a very challenging time seeing. So he can see enough to eat. I've observed him eating. He can see enough to drink. I've observed him drinking. He can see enough to mate. I've observed him mating. Both of his hens and the 3 of his daughters. He's mated with all of them. And he gets up there to sleep at night. So he can do all the things that a tom turkey's supposed to do. Right, Lenny? But I don't know how much longer he'll be able to see, or if this is some kind of degenerative thing. I'm going to keep an eye out on him. I'm not going to call him. He's too much of an important part of the Yosted. He's our mascot. So we're just going to make sure he's taken care of. At a certain point, if it gets bad enough, I don't know what we're going to need to do. But right now, I don't think we're close to that point. Right now, he can get around. He can do all the functions that a tom turkey needs to do to function. But we just gotta, I hate to use this pun, we gotta keep an eye on him. Right, Lenny? For what it's worth, he's safe in here as long as he doesn't go beyond the fence. He knows where his food is, he knows where his roost is, he knows where his water is. If that's all he needs, and he can get by even if he's completely blind, well, then more power to him. Cross your fingers for Lenny. So a very big update on the tree situation. The evil tree that overhangs our driveway, our gravel driveway into our property, that I've always complained about, that's dead, and it had multiple trunks. We finally cut it down. It was my white whale. And as you can see, this thing is down. I'm happy to report. So I still need to cut it up. I still got work to do with this, but there's a lot that I'll be able to burn. There's a lot that I'll be able to use for the pig pen. I've got all the wood I need and wood for burning ash that I'll need. So I'm all set with that. But the story with this, unfortunately, I didn't have my camera, my phone on me when we felled this, but one of Holly's friends, her husband, is an arborist. And what he does is he climbs trees for a local tree company, tree service, and fells them. That's what he does for a living. So he came out and he was actually able to climb halfway up that tree. Even though it was dead, he He knew what he was doing, and it was safe where he went to. And while I held onto the rope, he felled that thing, and I was able to navigate it to where it fell right here. It didn't even hit the driveway. It fell between the mulch pile and the driveway. It's incredible the precision that this guy has. He's an artist. So it's down. We ended up cutting those 2 remaining tree trunks, the really scary ones that were overhanging the driveway and hanging right over these power lines. We're able to cut those down. And after we did that, we cut out this giant base, this stump, this trunk, which this thing's hard to move. I'm gonna have to cut this up. It's gigantic. But we're able to knock it all down. So I'm glad I was able to knock that out, because that had, as you guys know, that was such a huge concern for me. That was something I was really worried about. And now it's done. Now I don't need to worry about it. So I've got so much wood to burn, to turn into ash. I've got so much wood to cut up to get ready for the pig pen. So yeah, that was a productive day that I unfortunately didn't have my phone camera on me to film it, but it happened, as you can see, and I'm very, very excited about it. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And until we see you again next time, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.